Well, hello again. It's Wendy, and I'm windblown Wendy today, that's for sure. I've just come up from home today on a couple-hour drive and a little ferry trip, and I paddled. I'm now into the second lake, and I'm going to stay here tonight. At least that's my plan, for an overnight in my tent. Well, I've got my camp set up. Took a little while. It's blowing really hard, and so I've put up a little shelter here. Put my things in there. It's for sun more than rain, which is, and also a little bit of a wind shelter too. Well, the wind's finally dying down. I wouldn't say it's finished yet, but I'm not going to light a fire just yet. But I've been working on my dinner, and actually pretty hungry. I'm going to cook the meat and the potatoes on my little alcohol stove rather than light a fire. And if it stays calm over the next hour or so, then maybe I'll have a small fire just to sit around and keep the dark away for a little while. But this is what I'm going to have for dinner. I've made a salad, which I'm going to have first, and looks pretty good, really. And then I've got some little potatoes, some steak, and some mushrooms. So I'm going to do those in the frying pan on the little alcohol stove. But before that, I'm going to sit and have a glass of wine, and I'm going to eat my salad. Well, it certainly turned out to be a really beautiful day. The wind was a bit problematic. It actually got really quite bad just about an hour ago, and uprooted a couple of my pegs on my tarp. The tent's fine, but had to reinforce the tarp, which wasn't a big problem. It didn't blow down. It just was on the way to blowing down. So yeah, it's good though, because it gave me some shelter from the wind and also from the sun. But now the sun's gone down behind the hill opposite me, and I'm sure it's going to cool off before too long, although it's not going to be cold tonight. Trick is to get the potatoes in first. Bit of garlic, some herbs, or some seasoning I already put on it before I left home, and then some herbs from the garden for the potatoes. It should be good. Okay, this is coming along pretty nicely. Put the meat in. I like my steak medium rare. Well, I'm not sure that I can eat all of this, but I do have food cache here, and if I don't want to eat it all, I can put it away. But it looks pretty good, so I'm going to see what I can do with it. Well, the wind's, I think, pretty much just been died down now. I'm just going to have a small fire, just for maybe an hour and a half or so. Nothing major. It's just nice company. Got some music on, actually, which is a first. Never come camping with any music, but it's actually kind of nice. Well, good morning. Well, that was a totally uneventful night, and it was totally quiet. I couldn't believe it. I woke up a few times. There was just no sounds. Although this morning I was woken up by a woodpecker of some type on a dead tree well, it's not a dead tree, but a semi-dead tree leaning away from my tent. But yeah, there was a lot of tapping and a very angry squirrel. I don't know if he or she was unhappy to be woken up by the woodpecker, as I wasn't mad, but anyway. And here's the squirrel is running around the campsite now. Fire going. I'm probably going to hang around here for a while, and then I'll be going back to the cabin, I guess, and maybe later today. So we'll see what happens. It was a really good night, and not a whiff of wind today. Absolutely beautifully calm and peaceful. Just the way you would actually want it. If you could order a better morning, you wouldn't be able to. Well, this morning, got some an English muffin and an egg and some cheese. Do you ever notice when you're camping just how much dirt and sand gets in your food? It doesn't seem to matter how hard you try to not have that happen. It does. That'll be good. Hungry this morning. Yeah, that's good. There. Voila. It's good. Well, I've just been organizing things and putting things away. Got my tent dry. It's a luxury of having lots of time. I'm going to go back to the little cabin, which isn't that terribly far away, and I think I'll just spend the afternoon there, and then paddle back to the car tomorrow and go off home. So yeah, I think it was a very successful trip. I had a couple of things in mind. First off, the weather was good, and I didn't want to miss the opportunity to come out and do an overnight. Solo camping is relatively new to me, and although camping is definitely not. But soloing is not something I've done, and I'm really happy to now becoming more and more comfortable doing it. I think I was following my own advice. I did a video on 5 things that have helped me, and I followed my own advice last night, and yeah, I had a great time, and I feel more comfortable every time I come. So I'm going to just get down to the boat. I'm finishing my cup of tea, and then I'll load up and head off back to the little cabin. Well, back at the cabin, I managed to catch 2 more trout. So that's fabulous. Eh? I've got 2 to take home tomorrow. Here's the other one. It's not quite as big, but that's all I need is 2. So there we go. Beautiful. Much like last week. One is bigger than the other, and that'll make dinner for tomorrow night. So what a great weekend. This topped it off, and I'm going to stop fishing now. That's all I wanted. So have a good night.